Hello everybody, welcome to Riding Shotgun with Tupper. It is Monday, October 8th, and we're going to take a quick little jaunt back here and just talk about some things that have happened. Wow, you know, I kind of asked the question, was I being a sucker by picking Illinois to beat Rutgers, even though I just felt like Illinois is a better team, but Illinois has not always answered that challenge. They're on the road. They're a Big Ten road favorite. That's an unusual role for them. And lo and behold, they got that done. They ran the football really well. They beat Rutgers 38-17. A.J. Bush was back at quarterback. What a difference the threat of him running makes. I know some people were like, well, he didn't throw the ball very well. I don't think he threw the ball all that bad. I think sometimes he threw the ball away when there weren't people open. And who was it? Was it Carmoni Green that had the ball hit him in the chest in the end zone? If you catch that, now you got 2 touchdown passes and some more yards. But the main thing was they didn't have to throw the ball a lot because they were running it, and they were running it in chunks. And the number of plays they had that went for over 40 yards, the 73-yarder by Reggie Corbin, another long run by Reggie Corbin, long run by Mike Epstein at the end for a touchdown, long run by A.J. Bush for a touchdown. I mean, they just, that was good to see. And then they continued with that very promising trend of taking the ball away on defense. That's what Lovie's defenses do. 3 more interceptions. I believe they have 10 for the season now. They just needed, to me it was the most important game since Lovie's been the coach because of everything that happens if you don't win that game. You can't make the claim that you're making progress if you lose that game. You can't make the claim that you're gaining on it from a talent standpoint if you lose that game. And now those things are still in play. Yes, I think they're an improved football team. Yes, I think they're climbing the talent ladder. They're not up there with the elite teams in the league. I get it. They still have depth issues, and but that was a good step. And it needs to be one step. It can't be the only step. The schedule is favorable to place them in other games that they might have a chance to win, including this week when Purdue comes in for homecoming, although I think Purdue is a step ahead of them and probably too explosive for them to beat. I don't know if you've seen Rondale Moore, the freshman for Purdue, wide receiver. Jeff Brom has been very creative in finding ways to get the ball into his hands. Receiving, jet sweeps, end around, kickoff returns. He is little. I think he's probably 5'9", 175, 80 pounds, but he's pretty strong. He's very fast, and he's got great moves. He's one of those players when you see him and go, wow, that's one of the more exciting players in college football. That's a guy I want to watch play every week. And he's just really given them an explosive dimension at that position. And so Illinois is going to really be challenged to try to deal with him. And, we'll see what they can do. Meanwhile, that game was Saturday, Illinois-Rutgers. Friday was Illinois Basketball Media Day. I drove over with Joey Wagner from the Herald and Review to take a look at things. I wanted to hear what Brad Underwood said. I wanted to, really, the main reason to go is that they were going to make freshmen available for the first time. And perhaps, but not necessarily guaranteed, perhaps the only time until they actually appear in a regular season game. Although I think as much attention as they're going to get, I think Brad should probably be thinking about, giving them a little more media exposure to media questioning and so forth. The more you do it, the less of a nervous situation it becomes for you. It was hysterical with Georgi Bishanishvili when he realized that all these media people were walking up to him with tape recorders and microphones and cameras and whatnot. He just burst out in laughter. He couldn't believe it. He says, "This is crazy." And if you haven't seen Georgi or the story I wrote about him in the Herald and Review, this kid is something else. He is something else. And the good news is that he's more than a personality. They really like his skills, and he's going to have to play some minutes down low early, simply because Adonis De La Rosa won't be ready to play, I don't believe, at the start of the season. What a fascinating kid he was. I got in on some of the interview Joey Wagner did with him. This is a kid who, at one point in his life, 7 feet tall, now weighs 263 pounds. At one point in his life, he let his weight go to 390 pounds. That's right, he's lost 130 pounds. And he was fascinating. Engaged. He and this woman he's with have a 3-year-old daughter together. His fiance and his daughter come to the practice gym sometimes, and she shoots baskets with him. This is, obviously after practice, but really an interesting guy who appreciates the facts that he got out of the Bronx, and that he's been on some ups and downs, but that he's never lost track of what he wanted to do. His daughter's a big inspiration in his life, and he's just working his way back from knee surgery that he had back in March, and one of these days he'll be out there, and but nobody's going to rush it. We'll just see. I tried to pin him down on if he had a date in mind when he'd be back in action, and I think he does, but I think he also doesn't want to jinx it, and he wouldn't say, and he was very funny. Io, talked to Io. Io's just always been impressive, continues to be impressive. Probably, if you were standing next to him, you'd say he's a little bigger than I thought. Nicely muscled, 6'5", just a long, really good-looking athlete. I had a nice talk with Tevian Jones. Tevian is Georgie's roommate, and really well-spoken kid. Really enjoyed visiting with him. They were all there, man. DeMonte, talked to him. Kipper, Aaron Jordan, across the board. I mean, Trent Frazier, obviously. And I really never got over to Alan Griffin, and I felt bad about that, because I think he's an interesting guy too. You have a limited amount of time, and you're trying to really absorb as much as you can. But that was very interesting. Enjoyed it a lot. I guess that's it. We're just basketball practice. We'll charge on. I think the exhibition games will be here before you know it, and then that November 8th opener, I believe that's the right date, against Evansville, is right around the corner. So exciting times. Glad to see the football team win. It was just 700 days since they'd won a Big Ten Conference football game. That's nuts. 72 players on that roster had never experienced the feeling of winning a league game. That's nuts. And it was just good to see them playing the way they're playing right now. I mean, I'm glad they're running the ball so well. And then I try to keep in mind that Rutgers is not a very good team. They had a true freshman quarterback who is still liking to throw the ball to other teams, which, when you think about it, makes MJ Rivers even a little more impressive. I mean, there's a kid who played quite a bit already and has one interception on a ball that was deflected about multiple times. I think they can feel good about that. So I'm looking forward to the homecoming game on Saturday against Purdue. I'm going out of town for a little while. I don't know if I'll be able to file a shotgun next week. Probably not, but I do intend to write from the road, and I'll have something in this week on Illinois football, and next week might not be on sports. It might be on whatever I'm seeing out there on the road, as my wife and I take a little bit of a road trip. Hope you all are safe and have a great weekend, and I'll just talk to you as soon as I get back.